Greeting from a sweltering Johannesburg. The weather this week has been ridiculous. We're really hoping we get our first proper rains of the season tonight. Today's video is going to cover socializing your puppy, what you should be socializing your puppy to, and why you should be doing this. Speaking, socialization means increasing the puppy's frame of reference for what is normal and what is to be expected in their normal everyday lives. We can look at socialization in terms of different categories. I'm sure you all know a dog that's brilliantly socialized towards other dogs, but they're not so great with people. Or you might know a dog that's amazing with people, but as soon as it sees another dog, it just flips into some kind of wacko mode and just wants to annihilate them. We consider socialization from three broad categories: people, dogs, and stuff. Stuff is anything that's not a people or a dog. People tend to give these categories of socialization a somewhat skewed priority. For a lot of people, they think it's most important that their dog is socialized to other dogs, then people, and stuff coming in third place. From my perspective as a canine behaviorist and a dog trainer, I can tell you the most important category of socialization for your puppy is people. You might think this is a bit strange. Why on earth would people be the most important category of socialization for my puppy? Well, think about it. You're going to have people visiting you in your home. At times you're going to have to take your puppy to the vet or to the groomer. So it's really important that they feel comfortable with as broad a variety of people as possible. The second most important category, I'm sure you're thinking, okay, this must be where dogs come in. Nope. The second most important category is stuff. Think about it. Your dog is going to be coming into contact with stuff far more frequently than they're going to be coming into contact with unknown dogs. The third category of socialization is other dogs. Obviously, if you have a lifestyle where your dog is going to be meeting lots of different dogs on a regular basis, that might change the importance of your categories. But for most domestic pet dogs, the categories of importance in terms of socialization are people, stuff, dogs. Think about it this way. If you end up with a dog that has a problem with people, it's a big problem. It's going to affect every single aspect of that dog's life. If you have a dog that has a problem with stuff, that's also going to impact on that dog's welfare on a fairly regular basis. If your dog has a problem with other dogs, if he hasn't been extensively socialized to other dogs, that's actually the one that's going to cause the least problems going forward in his life and the one that is the easiest managed. The whole point of socialization is to try and teach our dogs that variety is going to be a common theme throughout their lives. Dogs are born with the plasticity to be able to accept these variances. It is limited by genetic caps, but most dogs have a fairly large range of variability that they can accept. So it's our job to provide the pup with as many different learning opportunities as possible. When this comes to people, we need to let the puppy know that people come in all shapes and sizes, different colors, different demeanors, and sometimes they do weird stuff like they put hats on, they grow beards, they push trolleys. These things your pup doesn't know are normal for human beings. We need to teach them this and help our pups realize that sometimes humans can be weird, and really that's your main priority when it comes to socializing your pup to people, is that people can be odd and that's okay. A big thing for pups to be socialized to is children. I'm pretty sure that most pups think that children are a completely different species. They don't move like adults, they don't talk like them. They make all kinds of weird random sounds. So we need to teach our puppies that these are in fact also part of our human race. They're just weirder than the adults. The easiest way to socialize your pup to a variety of different human beings is go along to your local coffee shop. Sit down, order yourself a nice coffee, and what's lovely, you've got a cute puppy with you. People come to you to see your pup and to pet your pup, and maybe you can have some treats with you. You give them a treat to give to your puppy. Just take it nice and slow. Do it at your puppy's pace, but you're pretty much guaranteed that every single outing you take your pup on, they're going to be meeting a variety of different people. The guru of modern dog training, Dr. Ian Dunbar, says that our target of socialization with people for our new puppy should be 200 people by the age of 4 months. And that's 200 new people, not the same 10 friends of yours 20 times. When it comes to socializing your puppy to stuff, this might seem like a category that perhaps we're blowing out of proportion, we're exaggerating it a bit, but just for 1 week, write down every new weird and wonderful thing that your pup will be experiencing that's not a people or a dog. You'll be surprised at how quickly that list grows. The tricky ones here are things that only come out seasonally. So for example, if I have a winter puppy, they wouldn't have been exposed to the lawnmower during their socialization period, and this could present a problem later on. So you want to make sure that anything weird or wonderful in your home or environments that you're going to be regularly exposing the puppy to, the puppy learns that this is an acceptable part of his daily routine, or it's part of his life. So you want to make sure that your puppy is exposed to that before the age of 4 months. A lot of the stuff that we expose our pups to happens just by accident without us even thinking about it. For example, I bring my puppy home and my puppy's sleeping and I wash my hair and I blow dry my hair. I don't even think about the fact that I'm actually exposing my puppy to my hair dryer. So a lot of it happens by accident, and I think it's because of that we tend to underestimate the importance of socialization to It's generally only if you have a problem with one of the goodies that falls into the stuff category that you realize, ooh, I should have socialized my pup to that earlier on. As far as dogs are concerned, you want your pup to learn that dogs come in all different shapes and sizes, as well as activity levels. If your pup's only ever been around really nice, placid, chilled, elderly Labradors, the first time you put them with a high-energy Jack Russell Terrier, it's going to be a shock to your pup's system. Of course, you don't want to put your pup into a situation where he gets overwhelmed and he decides, phew, high-energy dogs are definitely not for me, so manage these interactions carefully. If you think the dog that you're going to try socialize your pup with is perhaps a little bit too much or a little bit boisterous or over-enthusiastic, manage the interaction, and there's nothing wrong with even keeping a fence between the two so that they can socialize freely through the fence, but there's no risk of things getting out of control. And this brings me to my next point. The potential for creating great experiences during the socialization period is exactly the same as the potential for creating terrible experiences, and they're both going to have that long-lasting effect on the dog. So make sure that you manage the environment appropriately. Don't ever flood the puppy. Don't ever think, oh, well, I need to socialize my pup to people wearing hats, so have a whole bunch of people put weird and wonderful hats on and come and tower over the puppy to try and sort of make sure that he experiences the worst you can possibly throw at him, so anything less than that in the future is going to be fine. Don't do that. How socialization should happen is we should provide a rich environment that draws the puppy towards it. We shouldn't be forcing the socialization onto the puppy. If you flood your puppy during the socialization period, you could actually cause a sensitization to that particular stimulus in the future. In fact, you can almost consider that socialization helps to draw the puppy out to a point that it teaches the pup to separate its own identity from that of its caregiver. And you'll often see dogs that have been under-socialized as pups, they've never quite made that shift that they are an individual. They see themselves almost as a unit with their caregiver. And often these dogs have problems such as separation anxiety or inappropriate aggression because they don't see themselves as an individual, they just see themselves as a unit with their primary caregiver. Socialization occurs during a sensitive period in a puppy's life. The jury's still out as to exactly when the socialization period ends, but we generally tend to accept this being around 16 weeks of age. The socialization period starts as soon as the pup is able to perceive and react to his environment around him. So that's roughly at about 3 weeks of age. Ideally, the place that you got your puppy from have done a lot to ensure that the puppy is off on a good start to being well socialized by the time they arrive in their new home at about 8 weeks of age. If your pup has come from a compromised background in terms of stimulation, it is possible to kind of help them catch up, but it's just so much better if a lot of that socialization starts while they are still in their birth home. Socialization is not flooding your puppy, chucking your puppy into a situation where they feel totally overwhelmed with everything going on around them. Socialization is not training. There are two very, very distinct activities that we do with our dogs with two very different outcomes. Rough play with other pups to the point where somebody gets bullied and someone learns how to be a bully. Free play for an hour with no structure, no management of the activity level or mandatory calm down time. So the pup can learn that when it's around other dogs, it doesn't have to be in a hyper state of mind all of the time. So in a nutshell, make sure that you socialize your puppy to those 3 categories. Most important is people, secondly is stuff, and third is dogs. Make sure that you do this at the pup's pace, that you present a nice rich environment that will hopefully draw the puppy towards it. Allow lots and lots of time for consolidation. So that basically means let everything percolate through your pup's brain and get filed into all the right places. Don't overdo the socialization. I reckon a socialization outing of once or twice a week is more than enough, and then there's a lot of stuff that you can do at home as well with your puppy. There's great sources on the internet, socialization checklists. I'm going to hyperlink one of these in the comments for you, and that's a great thing to work through with your new puppy that you have. Don't ever flood your pup, and if you can see your pup is taking a bit of strain, they're reluctant to engage, you've probably gone a little bit too far too soon, so back off, let your pup consolidate, and try again in a couple of days' time. Manage the environment to make sure that your puppy's encounters are neutral or pleasant. And good luck with your pups. Just remember that socialization is capped by genetics. Some dogs are going to have more scope to have a broader socialization frame of reference, whereas others, and often it's a breed limited thing, are going to have a narrower frame of reference. Have fun socializing your pup. Just remember, it's the first time that your pup's seen a lot of these things, so take it nice and slow, do things at their pace, let them have some downtime so they can consolidate, and you shouldn't have any problems going forward. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon, give us a like, leave us a comment as well, tell us what other videos you'd like to see from us, and until next time, happy socializing. P.S. Be present. Don't take your pup socializing and you end up socializing and forgetting what your pup is going through. You're there for your puppy, you're not there for yourself. So even though I suggest you go out to a coffee shop or maybe even you've got a dog-friendly pub around you, that's great, but remember your priority is your puppy.